Loss. It comes quietly, sometimes violently, and when it arrives, it feels like the world is collapsing inward. Like the shape of your life has suddenly changed and no one told your heart. We grieve what we once held: people, places, dreams, identities. We grieve even what we outgrew, because every loss carries a memory, and every memory, a version of who we once were. At first, it feels like emptiness, an unbearable absence, a silence too loud to ignore. We ask, why did this have to go? But in time, if we allow it, that emptiness becomes fertile. It becomes space. Space that wasn't there before, room to grow roots in a new direction. Loss is not just an ending, it is an opening, a tearing of what was, to reveal what might become. Not all loss is tragic. Some losses are sacred. Some things we begged to keep were quietly holding us back. What you lost cleared the path, not as punishment, but as realignment. Not to hurt you, but to return you to yourself. You are not just what remains after loss. You are what rises because of it. Stronger, softer, wiser, more honest. Let go of the idea that what left was meant to stay. Let go of the timeline you imagined. Let go of the version of you that only existed in their eyes. Grieve, yes, honor what was. But do not build a shrine in a space meant to become a garden. The soul grows best in silence, in the empty soil of surrender, in the quiet aftermath of letting go. Everything you lost made space for something deeper, a version of you that is more rooted, more real, more alive. So when you think you've lost too much, remember, loss only takes what was never meant to carry you forward, and what is meant for you will not require you to shrink, but to expand. There is a kind of beauty that only grows in the ruins, the kind you don't recognize right away, because healing doesn't sparkle. It moves slow, quiet, like roots beneath the soil. No one sees how much strength it takes to start again, to wake up in the same body, in the same room, but with a heart that doesn't quite fit the old life anymore. Loss forces a shedding of illusions, of attachments, of the idea that life must look a certain way to be meaningful. You begin to realize everything you thought you needed was only there to lead you to what you truly are. Sometimes what breaks you also breaks you open. And through that opening, something else can emerge, something softer, not made of armor, but of truth. You stop chasing the version of life that was built on fear and start creating one that breathes with your soul. Loss is sacred ground, and in sacred ground nothing shallow can grow. Only what is rooted in depth will rise again. The space created by what left becomes the container for what's to come. You don't have to fill it quickly. Let it breathe. Grief doesn't need to be rushed. Sometimes sitting in the hollow is where the wisdom is. You may not recognize yourself, but that's not a loss. That's a becoming. Who you're becoming doesn't need what was taken. It only needs what's true. And what's true doesn't need to be held. It holds you. There is life after the leaving, but it is not the same life. It's quieter, more honest, more aligned. So trust the space, trust the silence, trust the self that is forming in the stillness. Everything you lost was only clearing the way for the one you were always meant to become.